Get With the Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And this is our Mount Rush moments with Get With the Programming. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I miss these.
You know, these are fun because it's just a trip down memory lane a lot of times. It's just purely what we just like. It's like, what do you like? I just like this. So it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff.
These are the fun ones. We needed a fun one after the last one.
It's like no negatives. No negatives. Hey, side note, please. I got hit up by a lot of people that were actually pretty happy with the things that we said. Not just like, oh, you guys are just bitching and complaining and blah, blah, blah. But like, wow, you guys really brought up a lot of really good points about the quarters and whatever. I even got hit up by some people that are saying, hey, so I was 40th and I'm now in the top 30 after all the shuffling that's been going around. Like there's still, and this is in the Masters division. There's still some gnarly shuffling going around.
That's a lot.
But what I want to say is I think that's, I am happy about that. Not about the fact that we had to say so many of the things that we did say, but the fact that it's like, hey, you know what? We love this stuff so much.
Yeah.
And this stuff means a lot to us.
Yes.
And the fact that people are hearing what we're saying and not just going, yeah, screw those guys. CrossFit, they're just being stupid and shitty and that's dumb. And it's not all negative. It's like we're being very analytical, you know. So I think that I'm really happy about that. I'm happy about the response that I got from people. I'm sure you got some of that stuff too. So
yeah, I did as well. And Corey, Bruce, what's up?
What's up, you guys?
Hello, everyone. We came on a little early. Just want to talk. We want to talk about this. And yeah, last episode analyzing the Masters quarterfinals wasn't the most like, you know, rah cheerleading episode we've ever done. We don't really do that to begin with, but you know, we had a lot of criticism with constructive feedback, and sometimes it can't always be perfect, and we screw up all the time. And shit, if I had anybody analyze my program on the weekly basis of what I do at my affiliate, I could only imagine what people say when it comes to that. But you know, we had our misgivings and we gave reasons for, and then we wanted to have a fun episode and if you guys are new to the show, this is a Mount Rush moment episode. And what that is our top 4 or our favorite 4 moments, memories, and stories. And every once in a while, we'll do a list. And this week's list is also going to be in tandem with a second parter for the episode. If you guys are watching on YouTube, it'll be one long one. If you guys listen later, we'll post the other second half of this. And Sean Lake, the founder of BUBS Naturals, is coming on the show here in about 40 minutes or so to share with us the namesake of the company, which is his buddy was Glenn Doherty. His code name was Bub, and he lost his life in Benghazi. And he has a hero workout named after him called GLEN. And Sean was a part of creating that hero workout. So after we do our favorite 4, we're going to talk to Sean about, you know, how the workout was created, his relationship with GLEN, how the company came to be in honor of the lifestyle at which GLEN left and lived, and how you submit these things. What do they mean? Because look, we went down the rabbit hole of trying to find these 4, and there are over 1,000 known ones that we went through, and it was just crazy, absolutely crazy. And at the same time, you guys can understand, it's like there's also a somber element to this, because there isn't a hero workout without a fallen soldier behind it or service member behind it. And that's the tough part when you look at the reality of the situation, right? These are fun workouts to do, but they represent so much more than just blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not supposed to be. I mean, it's weird to say that it's fun. It's weird to say that something like Murph is fun, or Glenn is fun, or you know, JT is fun. They're supposed to be shitty, and it's supposed to be one of those things that you're in it. It's not, even though we've used Murph at the games, which I thought was a great event to be able to do that at the games. But generally speaking, I almost, as cool as that was, I almost feel that. Corey, JT is not fun. Don't be a baby.
I second that, JT.
Fast side note on JT, the very first hero one.
Ever?
It was the first one that was ever listed. And if you want to check out in order all the ones, you go to the main site and it lists all of them from every single day that they first appeared on. And JT was the very first one. Yeah.
Where is that?
I'll send you the link to it because I had it up here. It's just CrossFit.com/heroes.
Okay.
And it lists them all up there. Anyway, but I feel almost that like those should never be done in a competition. And I wouldn't have said that before because I thought it was awesome that Murph was done at the games. But now when I think about it, it's like it's not supposed to be like fun and let's race this. It's supposed to be let's feel this. I want to feel this.
There you go. Check that out. Okay, so it's CrossFit.com/Bill.
Oh, so
Get your slashes right.
My bad.
/heroes, and those of you illiterate a-holes out there, heroes has an E in there.
Yes.
HEROES. And you're right. Wow, look at this. JT, July 6th, 2005.
2005. Yeah.
Michael. God, look at this. Murph. So Murph was the third one.
Yeah.
We're going to do a whole episode on Murph.
Well, we need to because it's coming up too.
Yeah, we'll do a whole episode on Murph. Before we get to a little bit more, like we said, Sean Lake is coming up the show. He is the founder of BUBS Naturals. So you guys do yourselves a favor. Go to bubsnaturals.com. Use the code GETWIT20 for 20% off. I wish I could drink it all day, but I do like to sleep at night. So I have to temper when I throw it in my coffee. But it is the MCT oil powder, the collagen protein, the apple cider vinegar gummies. 20% off every order, every time. I just had to get a new hand blender. My old one died.
Oh, dude, I used the hell out of mine, man.
Stopped moving. And it was this morning. So I tried to like whisk it. Like I can't get it spinning like it does itself, but make sure you guys go there while you're at it. Get the WOD-proof app. As soon as did I tell you what I did to my groin?
Were you using your hand blender on it? Is that what happened?
No. By doing the hand blender,
it bent.
Movement.
It bent.
Totally different. Yeah, bent. Shit.
Gutter
balls.
Like,
are you right-handed? You're like, wait.
Gutter balls. Gutter balls and six-pack.
Before we ruin the WOD-proof app. Dude, I went swimming the other day because I was like, hey, I took a week off.
I saw that. Yeah. You're all, hello, old friend.
Hello, old friend. And guess what? Old friend did kick me right in the dick because I pulled my groin.
Were you breaststroking?
I was doing a breaststroke kick. I did a 250-meter yard easy swim, 250 kick, 250 breast, 250 kick, and at the 75-yard mark, my groin went pop.
Oh,
I legitimately, Bill, what the hell? I'm not even 40 yet. I pulled my groin doing something I did for like 15 years of my life, and I wasn't even going hard.
Well, you know, that's why they say that the people who get rhabdo the most are just deconditioned athletes. The ones who used to do, and they hop right in there. Oh, my body's fine.
I know, but like I wasn't even going hard. Like it was legitimate. I was like, I'm just gonna wade in the pool. It's like me in the old ladies class sitting there doing water aerobics, and I pull
jazz bubble, baby.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on the bionic part there.
No. Yeah, you would get like a negative bionic number with the WOD-proof app for sure.
Just a red X over my screen.
It's like, you know what?
Fail.
Here, take your money back. You're just not ready. You're not ready for this yet. For those of you guys that are ready and haven't ripped your groin out by doing some breaststroking in the pool, make sure you guys check it out. It's $19.99 a month. You get their computer AI technology to see where you are currently and set up a program for you so that you can get to the better place. And remember, it's all about moving better. The better you move, the you know, they have that water, the jazzer bubbles. You know,
Corey, I might be designated to the water aerobic pool by the end of like tearing my calf, sniffling my neck into spasms for 3 days, and then pulling my groin in a span of 4 months.
Age is a wonderful thing. But anyway, if you want to move better so you can get those weights up and not pull your groin and pull your calf and sneeze your neck out and everything else, get their Go Bionic. Get the app. If you don't want to go that route, you can go their Pro Pack and get all their 12-week programs on in their library. That's $9.99 a month. You have to check them out. It's not just about the video recording. It's about really making yourself better. So make sure you guys check that out.
And last thing, gang, go to Element 26. That is our magical thumb tape. I have it right here. Just always near me. I used it. I did ski erg sprints for the first time. I've been trying to use the ski erg a little bit more. And I thought they would be terrible. But I think ski erg sprints are probably the easiest of the 3 Concept 2 machines. Because you can just like, just drop your weight into it really hard, and like you're only really using the upper half of your body. Like,
Yeah.
so your legs don't get that like acid pump, and like the Concept 2 bike is only that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know if it's good for a sprint. I think it's better for, like, if you're doing, like, some longer distance, like, closer to 1,000 meters in
Yeah.
the middle of something. Because when you do that, like, you're not gonna be doing that crazy jump up and down stuff. And then what you will feel is like, I never feel it in my abs. I don't really feel it in my arms, but I feel it in my ass.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, couple that with, like, kettlebell swings, some heavy clean and jerks, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
But, all right. So we are going to go through, before Sean gets here, we're going to go through our favorite 4 hero workouts. As Bill said, if you want to get a list of every hero workout, is it every one or just
It's every
like
single one.
every
Well, it's
single
every
one?
one I could tell. I mean, I didn't see when it ended,
In order? Check
but
this
it's
out.
in order, yeah.
This is
And
cool.
what's crazy is, like, all of those CrossFitters, like, yeah, I've been doing CrossFit for 5 years. So you came in like 2017, 2018. Dude, these are like 10 years before you.
Yeah.
10 years before you.
And I get, the sombering thing is like there's a human being tied to every one of these,
Yeah.
which is wild. All right. Now, this is a Mount Rush Moment episode. And if you are new to the show, I just want to say you're welcome.
Man, I haven't heard it in so long.
Because we have very special I think I almost forgot what button it was. But without further ado,
Get it.
our favorite 4 hero workouts.
Nice. Part of me, I love that song, but is it blasphemy that we're doing that kind of Monty Python music for these heroes?
Oh, bro, we're treating them like human beings.
All right.
They
would all laugh.
How
They
would you
would all
want
laugh.
me to do my Mount Rush moments of you?
I didn't know if we should do that with maybe like a background of like F-14s flying over the top or
I
something.
mean, if I had that, I would do it. But,
All right.
yeah. Alyssa had a question right off the bat. How many are there? Well, the number we got to was over 1,000.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is.
So so if you go to CrossFit.com/heroes, it has the whole list in order, as Bill said, on the date it was created and what it was. How often they update that, I don't know. But if you go to wodwell.com, WODWELL, they have, you just type in hero workouts in the search engine, and this is, you guys can see this tab. I'll pull it up here for you guys. And there were over 1,000 of them.
Now, hey, I was looking. I scrolled.
36 is what they have on here. Now, some of these, there's the thing, like on Wadwell, you can submit any workout and call it anything you want.
Right.
They're not, doesn't necessarily mean they're on .com. Now, just because they're not on .com doesn't mean they're not a real hero workout. But you have like, it's almost like Wikipedia. Like you have a lot of submissions from people when it comes to this, but here it's over 1,000.
Well, and and it's really funny. We got into this conversation with Jeremy. Like, okay, do you do Murph just because it's Memorial Day, or do you try to pay homage to the people from your country or someone that means something to you? I mean, I know when I picked my list, I mean, I was a firefighter. I was a fire captain. So like I picked some of those because that was important to me. And I think that, that's something to remember, is just because it's not on .com doesn't mean that you can't pay homage. We have our own, we have one of our own, I mean, he was a young kid. We call it a memorial workout, but he went through the fire academy and he was like on the start to be someone and then passed away. And so we every year do a workout for him, but that's one that we made, we designed it. It's important to us, to our community. So I think that, even though there is this list, this is probably different than Wadwell's, because I mean, geez, Wadwell has the hotel bro session on there,
Workout.
But it is interesting. I looked at the bottom of the CrossFit one, and the last one that's listed saying that it was first posted, was December 10th. It's Carrie. But there are two. No, I take that back.
I mean, I can scroll, but
Martin was January 24th, 2021. But I'm almost positive that Chad would be in there. I don't know when Chad came in.
Oh, Chad was 2020.
Was that 2020? So it might be on the list. I didn't see if it was on the list or not. But there are a couple after that. But okay, they just had the old ones on there, the old numbers on there. So Maxon is the last one.
Okay.
January 11th, 2021.
And I like what you're saying about Murph and Memorial Day, because traditionally in the United States on Memorial Day, which is where we honor those that we lost that were service members, it's Memorial Day Murph, and that's pretty common. But as you said, it doesn't always have to be Murph, because I have buddies that will actually come to the gym when we do Murph on Memorial Day, and they'll do one for their buddy that they lost, that they made up on their own. And the best one is my buddy. His name's Lou, and it sucks. He's one of those ones that got away. Like he moved back to New York or New Jersey or Boston.
Yeah.
And it starts off with like eating a zebra cake or finishes. I can't remember one, but like, they have their own, it was his favorite snack on deployment and all this other stuff. And like a Coors Light at the end or a Bud Latte is what they like to call them. But like, you do whatever you want. And we talked to Jeremy Austin, and everyone has kind of their service member memorial date, and you should do whatever you want as a gym. And I would suggest, if there's, like, these aren't just like American heroes, they're just heroes all over the world. And do whatever you want. Just do something, I think.
Yeah. No, it's show homage. Give up some respect. Sweat, make it hurt a little bit for them. And I think that's what's important, is that you're paying a tribute to someone that gave their life. And that's the way it started back in the day. It wasn't about the race. It wasn't about you must do. I mean, like, and I saw someone up here. I don't remember who it was. Alyssa said that where they do a hero workout every weekend, or they'll do. I've seen other gyms that program a hero workout, all the time. And I think if you're doing it for the right reason, it's good. I mean, those can be really brutal if you're planning on doing them on a regular basis. Right. I think that would be tough to kind of program that into,
we're maybe an
appropriate. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that I don't want people to lose sight of the whole purpose of it, and the purpose of we're paying tribute to someone. So if it's Murph because it's Memorial Day and that's what you guys do, or your group, you have someone from your area that died at a particular time, and that's when everyone's doing their memorial, whatever, you guys can pick yours, and that's okay. I think that's all right. It's you're not being disingenuous because you're doing another hero workout on Memorial Day or on whatever special day. So have at it.
Yeah. So what we did is we basically just kind of went through our own personal experience, and we said top 4. These are our favorite 4 personal ones, whether it's something that's personal to us or for me, these are just ones that I enjoy doing myself. So I'm curious which ones you pick, because I feel like mine aren't like, did you know about this one? These are just ones that I either really enjoyed or one that scared me, and I waited a very long time in my fitness journey to do. So would you like to go first?
Sure, I'll start.
Lead it off. All right. What's your first
moment? And I will say this, once I found that website, it really fucked me all up, because I had my list that I wanted, then I'm going through and I'm like, God, I like that one. God, I like that one. Why have I never done that one?
I'm holding strong to mine though.
Okay. All right. I will start with the first one I'll start with is actually, since these are memories, moments, and what was the other? Memories, moments, and
favorite memory, moment, stories.
Memories, moments, stories. That's what it was.
Yeah.
This was one of the first ones that CrossFit actually had me do for them on the website. So the workout is called the workout's called Arnie, and he was a LA County firefighter that went down when they were responding. They went into, it was a wildland fire. They went down the engine rolled down a 800-foot cliff. So got caught in that. But the workout is with a single 2-pood kettlebell, so 73-pound kettlebell, 21 Turkish get-ups with the right arm, 50 swings, 21 overhead squats with the left arm, 50 swings, 21 overhead squats with the right arm, 50 swings, and then 21 Turkish get-ups with the left arm.
Dang.
And it sounds like it would be no big deal. It is
a lot
big
of Turkish
deal.
get-ups, man.
Man, the very first time they had me do this, so I had messed with the kettlebells, on the Turkish get-ups, and I'm like, "Oh, I can do that." I don't have a problem with overhead squats. I didn't have a problem with the swings. But the time that big old heavy kettlebell was sitting on my form, I was not used to that. And so when they gave me the workout and I was playing with it, I went and grabbed some little kids like shin guards.
Yes. Yes.
Because dude, it hurt so bad. I was like, that thing was on my form for like 25 minutes, man.
Dang.
So but it was a really fun one. The Turkish get-ups, it was weird having that in like a workout like that. I'd never really seen that. You do it as more like a skill thing more than anything, or a strength thing, but it's super fun. It's super
Dang.
fun. But yeah, so Arnie would be the first one that I'll write down.
A lot of time under tension. Damn. Stefan, Murph was your first CrossFit workout?
Dude.
Dude.
Hey, welcome. This is a Rhabdo Fit. How are you doing? Okay.
What was your first one? I remember you telling me. I can't remember. Was it just like a generic workout?
Dude, mine was a weird one because it was like back in 2002. So it was like,
oh wow, yeah.
What I remember, the one that I remember was, how many sets of 3 pull-ups can you do unbroken? How many unbroken sets of 3 pull-ups can you do in 15 minutes? And then the next day was, how many sets of 5? How many sets of 5 unbroken push-ups can you do in 15 minutes?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Mine was Fran. And I scaled at 75. All right. Okay, so here's my first one. I feel like this one's been pretty popular just because it's pretty fun. And mine is Holly Man.
Love that one.
I really love, these long grinder ones. And if you guys are listening, Holly Man is 30 rounds for time, 5 wall ball shots with a 20 and 14, 3 handstand push-ups, and 1 power clean at 225 and 155. And I love how, you're still sneaking in Karen with 150 total. It's 90 handstand push-ups, but it's 30 power cleans at 225 and 155. Yeah. So you get that squat push and then the fatigue of the push upside down with the gymnastics and just that heavy pull through the middle. And the 5-3-1 I love because you can just keep going. Like every time you move on to the next one, it's like, oh, I'm tired of doing wall balls. And you're like, it's just 3. It's just 3 handstand push-ups. And you move to the bar. It's like, okay, it's 1 heavy one, right? It's like, you gotta nut up for it a little bit. You can't just fake it, right? You can't just half-ass that lift, but it's heavy enough that it's like fun. It's a fun heavy.
Oh man, it's so good. It is. This is a very fun. It's a great one for a class too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just keep people moving. It's such a good one.
Yeah, it's but yeah, Holly Man. That's my number one, or it's my first one.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I have them.
I can't rank them. So. They're just tough ones. All right, what is your second one?
All right, and I bet you haven't done this one.
Okay,
that's what I bet you. It's called Johnson. It's called Johnson. Complete as many rounds as you can in 20 minutes of 245-pound deadlift for 9 reps, 8 muscle ups, and then 950-pound squat cleans.
You just assume I skipped it because of the deadlifts? Is that what you're saying? Okay, AMRAP in 20 minutes, 9 deadlifts at 245 and 165, 8 muscle ups and 9 squat cleans. Dang.
Like that. You know how we do those crazy like Sunday workouts? This is one of those. This is something like that where it's
okay.
It's not one that you're gonna go super fast through. You just kind of keep on moving. To grab the deadlift bar, bam, bam, bam. Come over to the muscle ups. Probably break it, into a 1 break on every single time. Get on the cleans. And you're just doing these singles, boom, and just kind of trudging through it, just marching through the whole thing. It's so good.
Man, that is. My back would get so tight, but I like it. I would enjoy doing this.
And don't freak out on the numbers.
Healthy body.
Don't freak out on the numbers. The numbers are because of the date. That's a date one.
And that's the thing too, is like the way these are constructed, right? They use the numbers and that are tied with them. Was that the dates? when he passed.
Yeah, so it was died September 8th, 2009. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing with like hero workouts, I throw all of my OCD out the window.
Right.
Like it's out because that's the purpose, right? You do these things and you make them relative and personal to the person that it represents, whether it's their favorite movements, whether birth date, the date of their passing, like all of that is entailed with them. And it's really interesting to see what people do with that.
Yeah.
Let's see, what did Patrick put up here? My first ever hero workout was
Oh,
Calcium.
dude, really?
Man.
That's a nasty one to start off with.
Speaking of, I think Jules is watching this. Her first ever CrossFit workout, the coach put her through Calsu. RX.
Dick.
Yeah, RX'd.
How long did it take her?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, I will say I love that. I love that workout. I love that workout. It is
I have
gross.
still yet to do it.
It is gross. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if I'd want to do it now. Like, just where my current fitness is. Oh, Jules, how long did it take you?
There she is.
Put it up. Yeah. Post it to the world.
What happened?
Ah!
Stefan, thanks for joining the show on your vacation, bro. Keep drinking.
Go get him.
Later, dude. I feel like this is the best answer for anybody. If this is the first. Doesn't matter what your first CrossFit workout, unless it's like Fran, it's like I didn't finish, is a very common answer for most people.
That is, I mean, why would anybody?
Well, Bill, I don't want to get too personal with who was programming that, but that person didn't know what they were doing.
I got it.
It wasn't me, or I would say it was me. It was not me. Okay, Johnson. Okay, my second one I have on here is a classic. A classic, and it's Daniel.
Oh, nice choice.
Daniel. I really like the way this one is put together. Daniel is 4-time. It's basically a pyramid chipper, 50 pull-ups, 400-meter run, 21 thrusters at 95 and 65, 800-meter run, 21 thrusters, 400-meter run, 50 pull-ups. And the thing I love about this one is that if you're fit, the runs are in there to give you an opportunity to do most of this unbroken.
Mm-hmm.
Because 50 pull-ups, if you're elite, like you're knocking those out. And then you have a 400-meter run to recover your arms. And then you go to a thruster bar, which if everyone's started with Fran, like you can just do 21 in a row because you have an 800-meter run break after this. And you come back to the bar, back to the run. And those last 50 pull-ups is where you really know if you made some mistakes earlier on in it. But I've always, it's one of the first ones I did early on in my CrossFit career. And I just always had selfishly, I have a funny story with it because I went to San Antonio. So I did this in San Antonio for the first time. And this was right on the heels of, I either hadn't gone to the games yet or I just was about to. Like I knew I was going to, but like I walk into this gym and it was an afternoon class and the coach introduced me and I could feel that one guy that immediately got threatened with my presence in the gym. No one knew who I was, but like I looked like I was in shape in a gym where he was the guy and he went out so hard. It was awesome. Like I was intentionally breaking the pull-ups because I knew the last 50 matter. And I think he tried to go unbroken. And I was like, yes, this is going to be so fun to run you down.
Got you.
I just vividly remember that doing Daniel.
Oh man, that's good. That's totally. So how long ago do you think that was?
Dude, I'm telling you, it was over 10 years.
I mean, if it was before the games, that's pretty impressive that you knew how to strategize that one to catch him at the end, Well,
that's why I went to the games because I was a strategizing like machine. I wasn't fit. I was just smarter than everybody. I say in 2010, I was just competing and everyone else was going way too hard. Like
pukey.
Yeah, they were going pukey, full pukey, full brain dead, full dummy. And I was like, you can do that. I'm going to do this. and then I will pass you at the end, even though you're bigger, faster, and stronger than me. You're just dumber, so I'm just going to beat you. That's how I got myself to Carson, California.
Oh,
All
I
right,
love it. That's awesome.
2 down, 2 to go.
Mine. I will go with Hot Shots 19.
I was wondering if you were going to do this.
I had to put this one, man. And this is another one that,
I would've been
again,
shocked if you didn't.
totally. I mean, for the firefighters, the whole firefighting crew in Prescott, Arizona that went down, Yarnell, but it was Prescott. I was part of the group that did the big memorial for them. And so Rich Froning and Dan Bailey and Kristen Clever and Becca Voigt and everybody was there as well with all the people. And what they had us do is we would do the workout. Sean was calling it. They actually did a live broadcast of the whole thing. And we would run past the station in this big memorial they had up on the fence. So you saw flowers and helmets and candles and pictures and all the stuff of all the guys that you're going by. And it was super cool. A really huge community event and a really man, it's a painful one. So it's 6 rounds for time, 30 air squats, 19 reps with 135 or 95 on the power cleans, 7 strict pull-ups, and then you run 400 meters. So
wow, yeah,
we did that then. We do this one every year here. I don't know why we didn't do it on the time that we did it then. I can't remember. We switched it for some. I think what we did is we did it when we actually did it for real. So like August 31st, I believe, is when we did it for reals, even though the date itself, a lot of people do it on the actual date. But when we do it, we up it. So we do 6 rounds for time, but we do 30 squats with a 53 or 35 pound kettlebell.
Okay.
We do the power cleans with 155, 105. We do the strict pull-ups with a 35 or 25 pound dumbbell, and then you do the run.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it. That's how we play with it.
Oh man.
It's a good
Patrick
one.
Anderson was saying the film Only the Brave centered around this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I don't know why I didn't piece it together, because I just remember the trailers and seeing it, and then I put it all together and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Forgot they made a movie about that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then didn't your girlfriend do this stuff?
My girlfriend now. So so Laura was a Forest Service firefighter. So she did this back in the day. Yeah. And that's the difference. Like the forest firefighters, their whole deal is they either buggy out or they helicoptered out, or they airdrop if they're like smoke jumpers. And all they do is they are packed up and they go up and down hills with packs on, either cutting line, meaning they're scraping whatever vegetation is there, trees, brush, grass, whatever, down to dirt. And then they'll either lay hose they will lay hose, or they'll open it up so that other people can come in and lay hose behind them so they can put the fire out. But that's all they do is they hike, they dig, hike and dig, and hike and dig, and hike and dig. And those firefighters, men and women, like they are gnarly fit people. I mean, their knees usually end up going out. Their knees go out because they're up and down weighted packs all the times. But yeah. So she that was her gig. We did that too, but we'd go play in like the house fires and hotels and that other kind of cool stuff too.
I remember when I found that out, I was talking to her. I was like, "You did this?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my god, you're even more awesome than I thought you were." And I thought you were pretty awesome.
She's hot.
All right, my number 3. I'm gonna go with another classic. Going with Nate.
Oh man, I'm so glad I had other choices.
I'm going with Nate.
Nate's a good one. Why do you like this one?
That's regional Nate, because this one really gave me a lot of problems early on in my like CrossFit career. Like I always wanted to do it RX for one. And then where is this? I'm trying to find it. Where are you, buddy? But early on, I guess I started doing this after 2011 when like my back started kind of going out. So I could never finish finish it.
Oh
Like,
man.
yeah, like my back would get so tight and I couldn't do it because of the handstand push-ups coupled with the kettlebell swing. So if you guys don't know what NATE is, it's AMRAP in 20 minutes, 2 ring muscle ups, 4 handstand push-ups, and then 8 kettlebell swings with a 70 and 53. But my biggest goal was to get 20 rounds of NATE.
Yeah.
And so for years and years I tried it. And then a couple of years ago, I ended up getting 20 rounds plus some change.
Ooh,
And
nice.
I was like, I'm good. Like that's the only hero workout I had like a goal time on. That was it. Like I don't have one for Murph. I don't have one for any other ones. But NATE was the one that I was just like, I am going to get 20 rounds one day. Just like say Mary or something like that.
Yep.
But that was cool. It was one that really bothered me for a long time that I couldn't do it. Michael has a question. How long?
How long? I think it's 8 or 9 years now.
Bill was a captain before I was the captain.
That's right. I was the captain. Yeah, so I retired. It was really crazy. I retired early because it was when CrossFit was having massive growth and all the broadcast stuff was going on and all like I was needing to be pulled away for the gym and for all the stuff we were doing. And I really had to make a decision. Like, okay, what do I stay in? Do I stay in my job and wait out the next, I think I was 43.
I remember when you had to make that decision.
Dude, it was hard because like I mean, firefighters have a great job and great benefits and the pay is great and all that kind of stuff. And captain, my captain. And you give all that up to just be a gym rat. And it's scary, but I loved both of them dearly. And the gym was mine. That scene was mine. And it's like, I had to make sure, I wanted to make sure that we were the CrossFit gym around here, not that we were just one of many. So,
right. All right. Last one.
Are we
What do you got? Last one.
No.
Number 4. Yeah.
Oh, this is
That was
the last
3.
one.
Unless you wrote down 5.
No, well, I have a bunch of them down here, but my last one that I'll pick. This one was this one is really fun. It's has a Murphish feel to it, sort of. It's bull.
You son of a bitch.
Ha!
That's my last one too.
Is it?
Yes.
So good. It's so good.
Let me see if you guys see this. I'm taking this down. Look, there's my list.
Oh, you didn't write Bill up there as your hero?
No, that's Bull.
I can be a hero, baby.
I wrote down Bull as well.
Well, here, I'll change it. So you can put that one down. Pick that one.
All right, well then I'll take
You take it. Okay, because I had another one that was really close, but put that one up there because it's super good.
So for me, I remember vividly when this workout came out, and I like, who on earth can do this? And then I think like Graham Holmberg did it on like a .com video at like a indoor track, and then maybe Miko Salo as well.
Okay.
But it's 2 rounds for time, 200 double unders, 50 overhead squats at 135 and 95, 50 pull-ups, and a 1 mile run. Twice.
Yeah.
And all you look at is 100 overhead squats at 135 and 95. And one day I was like, one day I want to be fit enough to be able to complete this entire workout. And it took me like 10 years. I mean, I could have done it sooner, but like not, a squat snatch at a time.
Right.
I wanted to really give it a good go. So when I finally got fit enough to do this, this was another milestone hero workout for me. But because I remember seeing this and I was like, what on earth is this? There's no way. There's no way.
It's such a good one.
I had the same reaction as Corey.
Well, what's really weird is I was always, luckily, I was always good at overhead squats. I always had the flexibility to be able to get into that position. So for me, like I look at this and I don't sit there and think, oh my God, it's 100 overhead squats. That sucks. I think, oh, sweet. 100 overhead squats. Nice. Like, that's going to be cool. Like, when I see overhead squats now, especially with volume, the first thing I think of is, all right, I just jumped up in the field.
Yeah,
I
it's
jumped up.
on.
Yeah. Like, I don't even care. Someone could have a 6-mile run and I'll just run my 8:30 and I'm still fine because of all those overhead squats, all those breaks. I don't
How
have
of
a
all
problem.
the 1,000 hero workouts ever created, of the 4 of ours,
I know.
you picked the same one?
Well, I will
That's why I
say
saved
that.
this one for last. I was like, I know Bill's heard of this, but like, this is a sneaky one nobody really talks about.
Yeah.
Here we are.
All right, let me give you my last one.
Okay, give me yours now.
This is my adjusted last one, but this was on my list. So it's JJ. Not
JJ.
JT, JJ.
JJ.
Put it up. It's a good one.
All right, I'm gonna find this.
So it's a
Where'd it
classic up the ladder, down the ladder couplet. So 10 to 1 or 1 to 10, 10 to 1.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah. Look at that.
Like a crisscross
Yep.
one. Oh, I love formats like this.
Dude, this one is so fun because you're like, right when you're like, I cannot do any
Dude.
more of, and you cross it to 5, you're like, oh, okay, it's so easy now. And then you get towards the end and you just get kicked right in the nuts all over again because of the other one. You just don't get any rest.
Wow.
And then you get slammed on that one. And it ends on the squat cleans, which is cool.
I would not be able to finish this workout.
Yeah, you would.
No,
It's
really
4 time.
No, I have not figured out the parallel handstand push-up.
Shut up.
I haven't figured it out. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just don't. I don't know, Corey. In the dick. Oh man.
You have to do the
one.
you got to do the Alex Smith piking.
Oh, that straight leg thing.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
I'll try. So 1 squat clean, and it says squat clean.
Yep.
185 and 135. Gosh, good weights.
Dude, and that was back in the day.
10 parallel handstand push-ups. The squat cleans add a rep as the parallel handstand push-ups decrease a rep. This is good. I've never heard of JJ.
It's so good.
Dang. That's really cool.
Now, what's awesome about this whole list, and I was going through it I knew the ones I wanted to have, but you always forget about whatever's on there. There was one that I saw and I totally forgot. I don't know if I still have the page up. I totally forgot what the name was because I scrolled down to the end. But they had movements on there that I haven't even. There are some movements in those workouts that I haven't even heard of before. There were wall walks in one of them. There was hanging hip touches.
Hanging hip touches?
Yeah, so think of it like shoulder taps when you're doing handstand push-ups.
Oh,
hanging from the bar and you touch. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm watching. I'm like, that sounds kind of. Ooh, that would be a great one to help build like grip strength.
Yeah.
Monkey bars, pull-ups, anything where you need to keep your hands on the bar for a while, and that scap retraction and strengthen the shoulder and that hanging position. I was like, ooh, that one's coming in.
All right.
I'm going to use that.
Well, Bill, speaking of hero workouts, let's welcome our main man, Sean Lake. What's up, brother? How are you? Oh, we gotta get your mic going. Go to settings. Get your mic going. Yes, you're good. We're gonna chat. So Sean Lake of BUBS Naturals is about to join the show. We've just went through our favorite 4 hero workouts of the long list that there are. And Sean is going to join the show, and we're going to talk about GLEN.
Yo.
Yeah,
well, there you are.
There he is.
Just a quick yo, and we got this thing all set up.
I love it. I love it. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm going to sell out or a company man, but I'm just saying
I don't have any hats nearby, damn it. You know what I've got? I've got blue block. I could be like Bill right now.
I got my reading specs on, dude. I got my reading specs,
My blue light specials. What can I say? So I'm going to fan out for a minute. I just got home last night from hanging out at the Mark Bell gym in Sacramento. Mark Smelly
What?
Bell, strong, monster athlete. And Jason Khalipa rolled in. We pulled into the parking lot at the exact same time, and he programmed and led us through just an awesome, I guess you'd call it a CrossFit and NC Fit workout. So Khalipa just rolled us through this whole jam. So I am sore and stoked at the same time. I'm standing up right now. Whatever.
That's cool. How many plates to the ground did you do? Platelets.
So actually funny, he was very gentle. I think maybe he aided a little bit with like really big, strong guys, but he made everyone run, which I thought was awesome. So he made us all do wind sprints. We did the whole workout barefoot. And so he went through, we did a lot of dumbbells were the primary tool. So sandbaggers at 25 pounds up to say 45, 50 pounds. And it was a lot of ground overhead. So a lot of snatch movements, double snatch. So like, actually I've never done a dumbbell where I use both dumbbells.
Oh, those are nasty.
Ground overhead. And all the while your partner was running or doing burpees. And also Corey Leonard just chimed in. You're not wrong. We did a ton of up downs at first. And I started splitting in on this one. I'm like, what's the up down? He's like, no, you just get into a plank position, shoot your legs back, shoot up, and then stand up. I'm like, well, do you jump and clap? Now this is the SEAL Fit background in me. This is like working under Mark Divine. You need an audible overhead every burpee. And he's like, no, you just stand up. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm getting loopholes here. I'm like,
that's nice.
We used to call them cheater loopholes, like when you didn't have to. Like if you did a worm burpee, if you didn't actually like rigidly hold the spine and go down and up. And the burpee is, of course, going to be a big part of an upcoming conversation. But Corey, for the record, Jason had us do full burpees, but they were I'll call them Khalipa burpees because you didn't have to clap overhead or jump. You just had to stand up. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is nice. This is my kind of burpee right there.
We did the double snatch overhead. We did single snatches into a burpee, which I thought was interesting. So you only had one arm in your right arm. You go down, so you're uneven on your weight. You press back to your feet, and then dumbbell snatch overhead, change grip, and then do that all the while your partner is
single arm devil press. Single arm devil press.
Devil press. Sorry, that's what we call it. Call it the single arm devil press.
Yeah, that was a very COVID-esque movement that we would do.
That's true. Yeah, we did that a lot with the single dumbbells. Well, Sean, hey, thanks for joining the show, man. We're pumped to talk to you. We're happy we get to introduce you to the world that we have here on Get With The Programming. And obviously, you've been a great supporter of the show. We love everything that you do as far as a company is concerned overall, the lifestyle brand that you have had. And I remember when we first started talking, is like that was a huge component of who you guys are as BUBS, the company, but really what GLEN was like that really birthed the namesake of BUBS Naturals.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny. The world didn't need another collagen brand when we got started. We're like there's plenty of collagen brands out there, but maybe the world needs a brand doing things a little bit different. And that was, that was born kind of from who GLEN was. GLEN was this guy who was he was the life of the party. He was the social magnet. So it's kind of like you guys walk into the room at your gym, like Bill walks in front of it's like, guys, we're going to do a workout today. And everyone's kind of like, boom, he's the man, got that attention. GLEN had that attention in social settings as well as on the gym floor. He just kind of commanded a presence about him. And that was, part being a Navy SEAL. Like you kind of, you carry yourself maybe a certain way, but it was, 10x of that was personality. He just had that oozing out of him and people rallied around him. They had that sense of community. And I was around that like my whole adult life, of course. So when we started the BUBS brand, we said, hey, this is a tribute to GLEN and his way of life. GLEN was community. Like he was that lightning rod that brought people together. We want a brand that brings people together. And I expressed that personally through fitness and activity, just like he did. whether you're going skiing or mountain biking, or you're going to go run a 10K, 5K, or if you're going to get after it in the gym. Like it's a rallying force for all of us. And you kind of get these forged friendships, I think, through shared adversity. And that was who Glenn was. And it's definitely an ethos that we try and share with the BUBS brand.
Did you guys start off that way? Was that kind of the centerpiece before you kicked out to wanting to sell product, or was it like, we want to sell some product and what are we going to call it? Think something cool. And then how did he, I mean, I get that it's a namesake for him, but like, what came first, the chicken or the egg on that?
Great question. So I want to be crystal clear. There was no version of starting this company that had anything to do with me wanting to be a part of it. So I'm like a reluctant founder.
I feel like that happens a lot, especially in this field of expertise, even in the CrossFit side.
You know, so TJ, my business partner, came over to the house one day and he saw that I was taking collagen. So I was like, had a bag of collagen on the countertop that my wife had bought for me. And my wife had bought it for me because she knew it worked. So I was just a consumer. I was an advocate of taking collagen because I was the 45-year-old CrossFit guy who just had the crap beat out of me. So I was like, oh, I've got my knees ache. I can't squat this deep. I'm like, I'm battered and bruised. I'm not PRing anymore. Like, you know, I'm on we used to call it the land of diminishing returns, where you're just like, all your times just incrementally get worse and worse. And that was my life. I was like, okay. And I've got a 1-year-old son. My wife's pregnant with our second. It's like the last time in your life you think you want to start a company. Like, let's go into the unknown of entrepreneurial world. So I started taking collagen and it works. And I mean, you guys know this, it works really well.
Yes.
So I was like the biggest cheerleader for collagen. I was like, collagen works. I want to take collagen. You should take collagen. You should take it. Like, I'd be walking down the street practically being like, hey, you could be better. Take this stuff. And now I would embarrass my wife though. So she wouldn't let me do that. But TJ sees the jar of collagen on the counter and he's like, hey man, you take that stuff? And I'm like, dude, I'm running faster. I'm squatting again. I'm moving again. Like, I feel awesome. And he's like, we should start a company. And I'm like, no, just we should not.
Yeah.
And well, I was sitting there, we're sipping coffee and just having a conversation. And I'm like, what would it look like? Like, what would a company look like? Like the world out there. And we looked at each other, and this was like that spark moment. We both said at the exact same time, same words, whatever we do, we'd have to do something cool for charity. Just opening line, like,
yeah,
Jinx, you owe me a Pepsi. Like, that was it. Both said it. And I just looked at him and I started laughing. I'm like, well, I know the charity. The charity has to be Glenn's charity.
Yeah.
And the Glenn Doherty Memorial Foundation. So it really just fell into place in like a 5-minute conversation. We'd have to do something cool for charity. It would have to naturally be Glenn's charity, the Glenn Doherty Memorial Foundation. And backstory for anyone listening, Glenn was my best friend since childhood. He was a Navy SEAL who was killed in Benghazi, Libya. So if you ever saw the movie 13 Hours, or you remember when Hillary Clinton got in a whole bunch of trouble and there was congressional hearings, that was Glenn. So Glenn was one of the central figures in that whole storyline. He was one of the 4 Americans killed on those 9/11 terrorist attacks back in 2012. So he was my roommate. I was the executor of his estate. He's my best friend since we were in middle school. Like, we go way back together. He's the one who introduced me to CrossFit. He's the one who pulled me into SEALFit to join that gym. And the rest is kind of history back in, that was like, what, 07, 08.
Yeah.
So, in CrossFit years, I'm like an ancient dog that needs to be put down.
Easy. Hey, easy now.
I look at you, Bill, when I say that.
Easy.
Because I've been competing against Bill in the open. He doesn't look that far down the leaderboard to see where the heat's coming from.
Roll to see his name.
So,
coming at you from page 4, Bill.
Page 4. I see you. So like that's the backstory of who Glenn was. It's a Google search. Like, look him up. He's a fucking national hero. He's, and again, my best friend. So that was my iteration into CrossFit. The brand was like, well, Glenn died serving his country. We started a foundation in Glenn's memory to keep his memory alive, like this larger than life personality. And that was how the brand came about. It was like, well, the world doesn't need another collagen brand, but hey, let's give 10% of everything we do to Glenn's charity, to charitable causes in Glenn's name. And let's create a line of products that all stand for self-improvements. The two things that Glenn was always doing, right? Glenn was always improving himself, and Glenn was always helping others. So we kind of wove that into the DNA of the brand. Well, collagen protein helps the self, joint repair, muscle recovery, gut health, hair, skin, nails, all that stuff that keeps Bill looking all of 43, 44 years old. And Chase, you too. I'm not taking the spotlight off you.
No, that's good. I'm getting a head start.
There we go. And so this was the brand part. So like really the chicken and the egg kind of just all happened in one big mashup. And the idea was creating some spark to stimulate fundraising, stimulate charitable giving. And then, going back in time, right when Glenn died, there was some interesting connections within the CrossFit community. So I got my level 1 cert in 2009. Rory McKernan, who's of course a big celebrity, good looking guy, man about town in CrossFit,
prettiest man I know.
Level 1 coach. So he was like my original instructor.
Oh, that's right. It's Seal Fit. That's right.
Then he joined the seminar staff. So when I went to get my level 1, it was like Dave Castro was there. It was, all the famous people then of CrossFit that were doing these L1s. Greg Glassman was there. Like all these people that I didn't know any of them, but I knew Rory. And so Rory kind of introduced me around. So I ended up meeting Dave. Dave's a super nice guy. His marketing director was this guy, Jimmy Letchford. He was there. We're all in San Diego doing this level 1 cert. So high fives all around. This is in 2009. Later that year, in early 2009, 2010, I get a phone call from Jimmy Letchford and Dave Castro. Hey, man, can you come and talk to us? We have an event that we need to put on. It's called the CrossFit Games. You might have heard of it. Oh my God.
This is 09.
This is in 09. This is when the CrossFit Games is held on a ranch in Aromas. That's actually Dave's house. Like it's his family property. I don't know any of this stuff, right? Keep in mind what my employment was. I was the marketing director at DC Shoes, which is part of Quicksilver, and I ran a bunch of action sports programs: surfing, snowboarding, motocross, BMX. Like that was my wheelhouse. CrossFit was this thing I did on the side because my buddy Glenn made me do it. He was like, you got to get into this CrossFit stuff. And I loved it. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a better surfer and snowboarder because I'm doing this sport CrossFit thing over here. Mm-hmm. So Glenn was the conduit again in all things. He brought all these different people together. So when Glenn died, I had become friends with Greg and Dave, and they were solving a problem back then, which was we can't do the CrossFit Games at Aromas anymore. The fire department won't let us do it. We had too many people show up. There was permitting issues. So I'm sitting down with Dave and
Bill and his buddies just ruining everyone's fun.
and I'm like,
the fun sponges.
Yeah, exactly. So the fun sponges came out, and I'm like, well, where do you want to go? And he's like, I don't know. Where can we go? And I'm like, well, I work with the X Games a lot, and here are the different venues that they use. Do you want to be at the Staples Center? Oh, that's too big. Or LA Coliseum, or this little spot called the StubHub Center, which back then was called the Home Depot Center.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, that one looks good. So about a month goes by, and I get another call from him. He's like, hey, man, do you think you could introduce us to the people that run the StubHub Center? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Like, put everyone on an email, and I don't think anything more of it. And then I get another note. He's like, hey, do you know how to negotiate a contract with like a major event venue? I'm like, sure. Like, this is what you want to look out for. These are the things. And this is before Reebok. So this is when Under Armour was trying to be the sponsor.
Yeah.
So now we're into 2010, and I just helped him like navigate what he was doing there. And then he's like, this is totally awesome. Thank you. They sign the contract, they do the deal. And I had played this role in helping them kind of navigate that. So
you were the middleman for the greatest competition floor in CrossFit Games history, which is Carson, California's tennis stadium.
Yep. And I look at the tennis stadium as the BMX stadium. So to me, that's where I saw Lenny Kravitz play on a little mini stage in front of the BMX park. Like, that's my thinking of that stadium, right? As the X Games venue.
Wow.
And it turns into this, which was obviously history. I had no idea that that's what was kind of happening, but I helped them roll that out. And then I get like these amazing VIP passes. Every time I wanted to go to games, Letchford's like, dude, got you. Like, you want to go to the suite with Greg? Let's go.
For life.
So it's been amazing. Dave is a rad human.
Yes.
Jimmy, amazing human. And we've been friends, ever since, from this one incident where I just helped them get a contract to work with the Home Depot Center or StubHub. So lucky me, that was cool. And then Glenn was like right there in the middle of it. I'm like, Glenn, you want to go to the games? Like, here's a pass. Like,
Oh, no way. Wow.
And then Glenn died. So, shifting gears, Glenn gets killed on that rooftop, and Glassman and Castro, they show up at my house. We did a big memorial service, and, they came and paid their respects. And it was like, they didn't need to do that.
Wow.
They did it. Like, that's CrossFit to me. That's community. Like, Greg went out of his way. Dave went out of his way to come over. Like, they learned about the event. It wasn't like I was broadcasting it. And we did like this block party in front of the house. That came up and paid their respects. And it just like, it solidified like who these guys were to me in terms of the things that they cared about. About a week later, maybe I get an email to apply for a hero workout. And there was actually a form that you do. And there was a guy named Tony Budding. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
I still have the email.
Really?
And thank you, Corey. You're right. They're good dudes. And so I get a note. I think Rory McKernan was actually pretty instrumental in this. So give him full props to him.
He knew Glenn pretty well too. Right? They either coached or worked out at the same affiliate together.
Oh, so we all were a product of US CrossFit, which is SEAL Fit. So there were kind of two gyms in one. Okay. So Rory was the original coach at US CrossFit / SEAL Fit. So when I learned how to do an air squat and I threw up during Fran, that's all Rory McKernan. That's 100% Rory.
What a shit coach.
What a shit coach. And then somehow they let him on the seminar staff. Like, go figure.
Man.
And then they say he's too pretty for this. We got to put him on camera.
Yeah, we got to put you on the middle of the competition floor in CrossFit Games.
So that whole evolution, I'm watching like my original coach becomes a star. We're buddies with Castro. Jamie Letchford is, a homie from day one. And we do all this stuff. So then there's this application. I'm like, okay, well, what were the movements that Glenn loved and the things that we did together? And we rowed like demons. Like, rowing was the one movement that Glenn absolutely loved. He was a rower because of the functionality of the movement. He's like, if I have one exercise I can do and I've got a 30-minute window, I'm going to row for time for 30 minutes because nothing is going to work the entire body as efficiently as rowing. Mm-hmm. And it always stuck with me because it's also torturous. Like, if you ever sat down on a rower, we used to call it, we called the workout Muffy, and it was a made up workout name. We named it after my little sister, who was kind of a pain in the ass to us back then. And so we named a workout after her, thinking that was our way of doing the girl workouts. And it was just, how much can you row in 30 minutes? Could you row 8 kilometers in 30 minutes? That was kind of the general goal. And then we were constantly going back and forth with that. So rowing was always central. So I put rowing, like number one thing to ask for in the hero workout. In the application, remember, I had to fill out an application for a hero workout.
Mhm.
And Glenn was big on pull-ups. Always did a bunch of pull-ups. Pull-ups were right on there. And we're like, okay, well, Glenn did like lifting a barbell. Like he was big deadlift guy, put deadlifts on there. They didn't pick any of that shit.
Well, all I can say is thank you for not picking the rowing for 30 minutes.
Could you imagine?
No, I'd be like, oh, that's one of the 1,000 whatever workouts that I will not do.
That's the least popular hero workout. It's GLEN because it's a 30-minute row for max meters.
Can you imagine? I just like, I want to kill myself. Like that's the worst thing ever. But here's the genius of it. What Tony and his team took was they took these movements and they made them completely appropriate.
Mm.
So, and I didn't know this. I couldn't unlock this at the time. I believe it or not, I was actually pissed.
Mm.
I was like, no, this isn't what Glenn's memory should be about. I was like,
Yeah.
I was angry, but really what I was angry that my best friend had died. So I couldn't see the forest through the trees.
Yeah.
Upon reflection, I totally get it for what it is. I'm like, this is epic. Like Glenn used to do grace. Like that was one of our workouts. And I had noted that Glenn liked to do grace. And so they picked that off and they're like, that's a great foundation, right? Just do grace as your warm up, not as just a standalone, but we're just going to warm you up with that. And running, right? Like, but don't just run a little bit, run a mile, like make that thing count. And then what's the most obnoxious pull up in the world?
Well, we just did the Masters quarterfinals, so I can tell you the answer.
Right? I mean, you could have done a towel pull up. Those are pretty obnoxious, but no, I think just go all the way into a rope climb. So like, they wove in these elements of what we had described. And I did this, by the way, I want to give a full shout out to Danny Miller. Danny Miller, he owned CrossFit 2120. He used to be the lead coach at SEAL Fit. If you're ever in the Del Mar area, you got to look up Danny Miller. He's one of the best trainers I've ever worked with. He is 56 years young, and he's a goddamn fire breather. He's a mutant.
Wow.
And
I'm going to do that. My grandparents live in Del Mar. I go there almost annually.
Dude, he's right off Jimmy Durante. And just look him up.
Okay.
Danny Miller is an absolute stud at 2120 Fitness. And we did this together. Like we were both like, oh, we'll help program this workout.
Yeah.
And they did none of the stuff that we said. But upon reflection, I was like, oh, they nailed it. Because Glenn also, like, he was a big push-up guy. He had this big barrel chest, so he could just do push-ups for hours and just knock him out. And I used to cheat with him. Like, it's not fair. You only have to go down 4 inches because your chest is so big. So what they did was they took all of these movements and they just dialed them up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you guys know, look at the sequence of events there.
Yeah.
How do you feel after 30 clean and jerks?
Well, usually when I do it for time, it's pretty awful. But
right.
You're right. Like the beauty is you have a barbell movement that's like you cover as much ground as you could possibly cover.
Yeah.
And then you have a rope climb, which does the same thing, but like the other way with a pull. And then the burpee again, like there's so much like range of motion covered in the most max way in both the weightlifting, gymnastic, and burpee can be considered a monostructural repetition element. Like these are all 3 to 5 minute bursts with miles in between.
Yeah.
It's really, really elegant.
So that's what I come to find out. So the first time we do this workout, it is a full-on rage fest. And what I mean by that is they actually programmed this and got this within 2 months of Glenn dying. This workout was originally published at the end of October in November of 2012. So Glenn died. He was killed on 9/11, 9/12, like that overnight, right? And we submitted the paperwork, like the memorial service, the paperwork. It all happened pretty fast.
Mm. They
turned this workout in and published it really quickly. And of course, like everyone at SEAL Fit, everyone at, down at 2120, we all banded together to pay tribute and do this workout. And it was amazingly mentally painful too, which is also a hidden treasure inside the workout. And I call it a treasure because when someone says go to 100 burpees, like heads explode, right? Like that's such a tedious task.
Like, absolutely not.
Right. And you're doing that as your closer. Like,
Yeah.
What a
you're
catch
20
out.
minutes in, if you're running, like break it down by time. You guys are incredibly fit humans. I'm going to give you more modest times here. If you do a grace, but you're going to have to run a mile afterwards, you're probably not going red line. Am I right? Or do you just go red line?
Hell no.
I'm living that single life, bro. One rep.
Yeah.
I'm living that single life. And hopefully my plate doesn't break in half having the second rep.
No?
So yeah, it's same thing. I mean, maybe just because someone said 3, 2, 1, go, I'd start off with like 5, and then my brain would be like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
Let's bring it
Slow
on down.
Easy. So I used to love doing it, ripping out 3 sets of 10. And I was just like, that is the stupidest thing. And then you kind of like wind it down. So then I was like, okay, 3 sets of 10, no good. Single life becomes a jam. So my best ever grace, just to give perspective, was 2 minutes and 54 seconds. And I wrote it down and I was incredibly proud of it. I broke 3 minutes. That was my lifelong goal, break a 3-minute. So I did that. And I would never come close to doing that in the GLEN workout. I wouldn't want to. Maybe 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, Bruce Wayne, you are correct. Absolute barrel chest. So let's say you deposit that, because the minute that barbell hits the ground on that 30th rep, you got to go run a mile. All right. So what's your average mile time, Chase? If you're ripping a mile out?
8.
Bill?
In something like this, probably like around 8. Yeah.
Right. So
knowing that I had to run another one, definitely 8.
So let's say 8 and change even, right? So let's say you come back from your first mile and you've done about 12, 13 minutes of work. Feel about right? Say 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Now you got 10 rope climbs. And you got a little bit of grip stuff going on, 30 clean and jerks, but you had a whole mile to shake it out. And you hammer those. How fast are you doing 10 rope climbs?
Ooh. Like, I think 1 every 30 seconds at that point is probably about max speed.
5 minutes worth of rope climbs. That seems about right.
Yeah. That's
So
that
you're
3 to 5 minute range, depending on the little spider monkeys.
So you're 18 minutes in. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
You're 18 minutes in, and now you got to go run another mile. So now you come back from 18 minutes and you run that next mile. You're sitting at about 25 minutes of work, right? That's always my goal right there. I want to be starting my burpees at the 25-minute mark. I don't always succeed. I've done this workout about 20 times since Glenn's died. It's been 9.5 years. I have to do it at least 2 times a year because I've got really bad friends that always rope me into it. I can never say no. This is like the one workout. It's like my Murph. I got to go and do it. So you're hitting the 25-minute mark. Now you're done with the barbell. You're done with technical movements. All you got to do is drop down to the ground and get back up, jump and clap overhead. And I will say this. I love Jason Kalipa, and I love those burpees we did yesterday. And I asked him specifically if we needed to jump up and audibly clap overhead. And he said, no. But I will say in a hero workout, you do. In that setting, it was actually the appropriate. What he set us up for was gold.
Yeah.
In a hero workout, I believe wholeheartedly that there is a little bit extra effort that you are meant to put in. So if you're doing Murph, you clear that chin over the bar with pride. You run with just a little bit more fire. You make sure your push-ups are locked out. You get full depth in those squats. On the GLEN workout, it's integrity of movement over that time. And that's a tough concept sometimes in CrossFit for me.
Yeah.
14 years later, I'm still like, still clawing for it. But hero workouts are meant to be. So you do those burpees impeccably. You jump, you audibly clap overhead, even when you don't want to. Because if around burpee 30 or so, you're freaking over it.
Yeah.
And that's the other,
the design is amazing. Let me ask you. You've done it a lot of times. Obviously, it's an important workout too because it's your best friend and everything. How would you feel if you were to see this event at the games? Would it be a good thing for you, or would it be a bad thing for you at the games?
So I've been very privately vocal about this. Like, my dream is to see this event at the CrossFit Games.
Really?
I would think there would be no better tribute to Glenn and his service than to see that. Like, when I saw Murph get rolled out at the game, I was swelled with pride at that. I was like, that's amazing. And yeah, I would love nothing more than to see the Glenn workout at the CrossFit Games. I think it's a really appropriate test of strength. I think it's multifaceted. It requires you to have more than one skill set.
Yes.
And I think it's an amazing mental challenge in there as well.
You know what I love the most about this? That you talked a lot about, like, this sneaky tribute, like, done the right way at the appropriate time. This workout takes 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the 30-minute row.
Yep. It's wild, right?
Like, that's one of those things that some people, like you said, force through the trees and things like that. But like 3 to 5 minutes on those 3 components. If you're running an 8-minute mile, you're going fast. So you're thinking 8 to 9 for both. Like, if you're breaking 30, that is like, you are legit. Like, you have your legit fitness, but at the same time, that matches up against that 30-minute row that you talked about, encompassed in a 5 movement event, which is really trippy.
Yeah, totally.
It's a very interesting test, and I think one of the things that the people talk about in the military community a lot is that mental resilience, that mental toughness, and it's actually become really common for you to say, "Oh, mental toughness," but until you're in it, mental toughness is a word. But when you're at burpee 30 and burpee 50 and burpee 60 and burpee 70, that's when it's kicking in. And if you're clocking on a 30-minute time, because think about what we're talking about. If you hit the ground at 25 minutes, you got to do 20 burpees a minute without a break.
That is
spicy. And I'm here to tell you that I have broken 30 minutes on that workout one time.
Nice.
One time. And I was fired up because it was the first time.
Oh, cool.
I was going to ask that. Because a lot of times on events like this, workouts like this, you don't necessarily know what it's going to feel like. So you're kind of like, sometimes ignorance is bliss. Sometimes you can implode and you'll just be the falling plane down to the ground. But like on certain events like this, it's like, you don't know what's coming up, so you don't know how bad it's going to hurt. But if you've done this, this is why everyone freaks out on Fran, because they know how bad it hurts.
Yeah.
You knew exactly how bad this is going to hurt. Every single time they say, "Oh, we're doing Glenn," you're like, "Motherfucker."
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I know exactly when it's going to hurt. If it hurts before that, you're like, well, shit, now it's really bad. It's not supposed to hurt yet, and it does.
Yeah, it's funny. So I've literally never broken 30 minutes since I've done the workout. I'm coming on like 19 or 20 times total.
Yeah.
And I've got like this range I live within. I'm always like 31 to like 35 minutes. And if it's 35, I'm probably injured or I'm just really messed up and didn't sleep and whatever. But it's like you're right. You just get into these little hits, and like I've kind of settled into that rhythm. Now, keep in mind, I'm also 10 years older now. Maybe that might play.
Yeah.
Use it, man. Use it.
Exactly.
So, Sean, I had a couple questions for you. One,
Yeah.
I think it's really eerie that it was also a September 11th for Glenn when this all happened. But I'm just like, 10 years are coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. We're literally. we're on 10 years, guys. This September 11th will be 10 years since 9/11. I mean, it was weird because last year on 9/11 was the 20th anniversary of the original 9/11 attacks.
Right.
Yeah. And so yeah, we're coming up on that. It's wild because I'm starting to recognize that, like, wow, we're like, these are big years, right? Like your 10-year, these anniversary moments, and I'm like, it feels like yesterday.
So weird.
It's just wild. You talked about the movie. Was it 13 hours? Is that?
Yep.
Do you have like, what was it like watching that? Have you watched it all the way through, or?
Yeah. So when they did the movie, you know, it was Michael Bay, who's like the big action movie star, who was at the helm of it.
Transformers, Bad Boys.
Yeah. Like all your slow motion, big action scenes, like that's Michael Bay. So I got invited to go to the premiere, and it was like December of 2015 when the movie was coming out. And again, a lot of passion around protecting Glenn's name. I and the estate was not consulted on the movie. So, like, no one asked us permission or sent Glenn's mom flowers, or like there were no gestures made to the family until the movie was done.
No Glassmans or Castros in there.
No, man, it was the opposite of Dave Castro and Greg Glassman, like showing up at the house, paying their respects, being honorable. And again, no one's asking for anything other than, hey, you know, if you're going to make a movie and feature a guy who died laying down his life saving others, send his mom flowers, write a note, like just something classy. And it was an oversight. And you know, it happened. And I remember being really mean to the PR girl, like the marketing assistant for Michael Bay. And it was actually, I wish I hadn't been, because she's actually an incredibly nice human. And I, you know, it was what it was. We were all fired up at the moment, but she was super apologetic. She was like, you're absolutely right. I can't believe this didn't happen. It wasn't her responsibility, but she was like, we're going to reach out to the family. Can I please get their contact info? And she made up for it, like in arrears, but you know, damage was a little bit done. So I get invited to the premiere down in Coronado.
Oh, wow.
With a bunch of team guys. So it's like Michael Bay's flying in. A couple of the actors in the film are going to be there at this little mini theater in Coronado. And so I go there with a handful of SEAL friends that are friends of mine that served with Glenn. And it's a very emotional viewing. Now, I will say this. Go watch the movie. Because factually, it's fairly accurate in terms of what happened and the events on the ground. Like, I think they did a good job there. Their portrayal of Glenn couldn't have been more different from real life Glenn, and that actually made it easier to watch.
Okay.
Like if it was like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, we always used to joke, if Matt Damon played Glenn, they kind of looked alike. I was like, oh, Matt Damon was Glenn. Yeah. I might have a hard time with it because he'd probably nail the character. You know, from Massachusetts, you can kind of play up the role there. They hired an actor who he looked nothing like him. He said things Glenn would say, but not in the way Glenn would say them.
Interesting.
Glenn said dude all the time, but this guy tried to say dude, but it didn't work. So we watch the movie. We make it through the whole movie. We're leaving the movie. Now, my wife is an absolute firebrand. She's been in CrossFit almost as long as I have, and definitely knows the whole world around that we all love and live in. She is 8 months pregnant. The belly is out to here. And she walks right up to Michael Bay and goes, "Hey, next time you make a movie about a dead guy, you might want to throw a little thank you out there to the family that, that's behind this." And she's like belly up against him, like pointing fingers at Michael Bay. And I'm like pulling her back. Like, okay, we're good here.
Like pregnant. I don't, get crazy. Dang. God, that's awesome though.
But honestly, that's probably the safest position she could ever be in. Who's going to hit a pregnant woman? Right? I could say whatever the hell I want. I'm 8 months pregnant.
Yep. I will lay you out with my belly. It was awesome. I was so proud of her in that moment. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Michael Bay will never forget the moment he got berated by a pregnant lady who, tore him up. But it was the right thing to do. I mean, and I hope the next time he makes a movie about American heroes, he's in touch with his public relations team right at the very beginning and says, hey, guys, we're going to go do this thing. We're making this movie. Let's send flowers to the family. Let's let them know that we're going to honorably portray, that mom's son or whoever that was in the right way. And I think he probably got that lesson. I hope so anyways. I know from my side, the movie is something that I can recommend. I can say, yeah, go watch that. You'll get a little taste of what Glenn went through. And remember, Glenn's journey into the fight was different than the guys on the ground.
Right.
He had a different role. He was over here in Tripoli and he had to fly in to join the fight. So
so crazy.
He did a 3-hour flight from Tripoli down to Benghazi to then join the battle and run to aid those guys that had been fighting for 13 hours.
Yeah.
That's heroic. Yeah, that's heroic to me. Like that commitment to moving mountains to join your brothers and to join the fight that's Glenn, man. That's helping others. That's our 10% to charity. That's symbolically, like the way I look at, like, man, he was always helping others.
Yeah.
Right to the end.
That movie was so intense and frustrating, and like I think I experienced every emotion in that movie, like anger, and I had no tie to it on a personal level like you did, but just like if you guys haven't seen 13 Hours, it is definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, 100%. And again, the next time, doing the old hero wads, right? When you're spending time on the floor and your Glenn gets programmed, or honestly any of the hero workouts, you have an opportunity, whatever you're doing, scaled, not, wherever your fitness is at that moment, you have an opportunity to just kind of think and move past yourself. And I think that is one of the most amazing things about CrossFit in this community is being able to do that. Just celebrate that service, celebrate what others have done through hard effort and discipline, and and let people know they're not forgotten.
Hey, obviously this is a super important one to you, but what are the other hero workouts you do? Like, do you have somebody like, oh yeah, I like doing that, or no, I'm not going to do that one?
I was indoctrinated early on with SealFit, right? So this is a gym that really prided itself on mental scrambles, and we would do these operator workouts that were 2 hours long. And so my first hero workout was Murph, and this was in 2008 or whatever. It was really early on in kind of the Murph world, and it was the hardest thing I'd ever done. And I really kind of responded to that adversity challenge. So Murph is it every year, 100%.
Yeah.
Have not missed a year. Don't ever, if I'm ever injured, I will make up for it and get it when I'm healthy. But that one is happening every single time. That and Glenn are my two go-tos. Chad is one I discovered last year. I did it with Danny Miller. I surprised him at his house, and I'm like, I got a 50-pound weight vest. And I'm like, and he does too. So I just showed up at his house. I'm like, this is what we're doing. The good thing is we don't really need much of a warm-up, because
the first 250 steps are your warm-up. Totally.
Yeah.
So and don't listen to Nathan, who's over on the chat side.
What's up, Nate?
Yeah, don't go there. Yeah, I'm a $190 soaking wet, so let's keep that in perspective. But like the Chad workout, to me, these are like long repetition workouts. So that's another one that I just look at and I go, you know what? That's a challenge. Like that's going to dig in more than just your physicality.
That one was gnarly.
Those are my three. Like those are there's others that I'll always jump to. But those are the ones that I think of the most.
That I think the Chad one is a good one. We do that one. That's our New Year's Eve one that we do. So I know when it was listed. we just never decided to do that. We always wanted to do a long something on that day, and that's just a good one. It's like, oh, I think I want to go hiking. No, you're gonna come and do Chad instead.
Yeah.
So pack up and start stepping. So that's a fun one. But when do you do those? Any particular time or just whenever?
You know, it's actually funny. I was at you guys know Go Ruck, obviously, and Go Ruck just held a fitness event called the Sandlot.
Oh, was that what it's called? Because I heard like they had the Go Ruck games. I didn't know
the Go Ruck games at the Sandlot. The naming could be a little confusing, but I love the name actually. The Sandlot I thought was fun.
That felt like a secret party that only a select few were invited to even go to. Like you couldn't just like show up for that.
You could though. You absolutely could.
If you knew the password.
Well, that's what's funny is that I think they just didn't know. It was first year, right? They'd never done anything like this before.
Yeah.
So they started emailing people about it, like, "Hey, we're doing this event. It's called the Sandlot." And everyone's like, "What's the Sandlot?" It's like it's a super insider joke.
Greatest movie ever made. That's what the Sandlot is.
Yeah, it was
good old
best movie in the '90s ever. So it was an event that was a fitness festival. They did Chad at the event. I missed the Chad window. I would have done it right then. So for me, it'll happen in the next few weeks.
Okay.
But I don't, with the exception of doing Murph on Memorial Day and doing the GLEN workout on 9/11, I don't adhere to a strict calendar.
Yeah.
It's just I just do them when they present themselves. So there was a Travis Manion workout that was done at the event. There was other like fitness things that definitely had a hero vibe to it. It was an amazing weekend, but I'll do it whenever the opportunity arises, especially if you can rally some people.
Yeah.
They did Chad at the Rogue Invitational, I think on Sunday morning. They had just a sign up there. And before the event started at like 8 a.m, they had a huge group doing Chad last October.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I think those opportunities to do, if you see a hero workout program, I mean, there's obviously guys, unfortunately, there's too many hero workouts.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's just the world that we live in. As long as CrossFit's there to pay those tributes. But, there's those three that I mentioned, but there's 1,000 other ones. Those ones I think get maybe a little bit more attention. And I would say, like I'm up for any of them when they pop up. I mean, obviously, just where am I at the time when they happen, then just sort of dropping like, okay, cool. That's what I'll do. I'm a fan of them. I think there's just something extra in those that's worth paying attention to.
Well, usually on September 11th, we've kind of made up our own 9/11 workout, but it's more relative to the 01 incident. But this year, I mean, a decade for you and GLEN, we're doing GLEN this year. I'm excited. Yeah,
that's cool.
We're gonna do GLEN for the decade.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's an amazing opportunity to rally. Community definitely digs in. There's a ton of great scaling options for it. Whether it's weight on the barbell.
Yeah. Very scalable workout. That's the coolest part. It's really easy to modify.
Yeah. And it doesn't change the effect, right? Like the goal that you're going for, that physical effect, it can cover the range, which is beautiful about it. I mean, I love the workout in so many ways, as much as I hate it. Let's be clear, but no, I mean it's neat. I think they all are in their own way. Like again, I tend to steer towards these ones that are a little bit extra abusive. But any hero workout, it's good stuff, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm so proud that CrossFit did that. Like, I love the community that we're in, where that service, gets celebrated.
Yeah. Well, Sean, I think there's so much cool, rich history behind, the GLEN Memorial workout that people didn't know. And I think now that they do, like it, I mean, talking with you and working with you and like, I've known about this. We've talked about this. We know it's a thing. I know what it was, but it just changes perspective of, especially when you see the background, the creation. I think it's hilarious that it's like, we submitted this and they didn't do anything of it. But then after you look at it from another angle, it really is beautiful. And the tie that you have to the CrossFit community with Dave, with Greg, with Tony, and your ties with Carson, California. Like I think it's a really beautiful circle of everything tied together, along with, you know, BUBS Naturals being a partner with us, but like it's part of our daily lives and our daily routine. Like it's something that's intrinsic to what we do now all the time. It's not just a thing that we have to, it's a thing that we want to. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your stories, sharing your experience and everything else. And I look forward to many more years to come.
I love it, man. Thank you guys. This is epic. Bill, you know, I'm trying to make a model out of you.
Oh,
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
do it. Do it.
No, it's been
making fun of me for
I
John Mayer
couldn't be
concert.
happier, you know, for the partnership and being able to work with you guys, and you know, just knowing what you stand for as being part of the glue that is CrossFit. I love it. So you know, thank you for having me on here and being able to talk a little bit about GLEN. You know, warms me up. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, man.
Anytime, Sean. Thank you. And
Our
thank you
pleasure.
for everything that you do. So you guys, thank you for joining us for today's episode. And hey, maybe we'll do a big live 9/11 GLEN tribute workout.
We might have to do that.
You know, put something together.
Might have to do
something
that.
together. All right, gang. You guys have a great rest of your day. Hug your loved ones. Be thankful for what you have. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.